I started from the ground. I was like almost negative. I was like underground when I started my business. I was literally underground. Nobody knew what I was doing. I had one friend who knew what I was doing that I could share this with. Greetings and welcome to Activations with JJ. Atria shotoko yinamaraya tia sotoya kantarayana. Ooh, a part of me really wants to say hi. And thank you for co-creating with me today. I am truly honored to have a little bit of your time to spend with you. And I've said this many times, I can feel you here. I'm just really, really grateful for this space, this energy. And there are a lot of big changes coming up for me in the next little bit. I'm very excited to have you experience those. A little bit of a surprise, kind of a teaser moment for us. But it's really, things are expanding. Things are rapidly accelerating. And today I have a lot on my heart to share with you. So many downloads have been coming through. And I know that many of you also experienced a timeline shift right at the beginning of January. As you know, it was quite intense for me here in Los Angeles, as many community members experienced a great deal of loss and are still going through that. If you are interested in finding out ways you can help, obviously your intention, your energy is helpful. I truly believe that. But physical needs must be met as well. And the link I have in the show notes will direct you to places and people that can help you help them. So I just want to remind you of that. It's an ongoing process. And obviously, I'm always willing to have anybody here in the comment section, if you're on YouTube especially, share with us if you know of any other needs in the world that could be addressed. We are here having human experiences and spiritual experiences, and we need to find balance in the ways that we're co-creating and supporting our communities. Speaking of that, just a little tiny reminder of the January energy update. I kind of just feel like I need to keep circling back to that. We are at the end of January. It's almost like a little self-assessment. How are we doing with those 2025 themes? It wasn't just themes for January 2025. Those were the themes for the whole year. I thought it would be interesting just to review those with you now that we've taken such a big timeline jump. I know I have personally, and I might just be speaking for myself, but I tend to feel that collective energy and know that some of you have also gone through timeline shifts. So before I go into the main portion and themes of this podcast episode, I thought I would very briefly touch on those themes for 2025 and beyond. I'll say that. So the first theme that came forward was self-sufficiency and sovereignty. The second one that came forward, and this one was specifically related to my light language community, but also just everything that we're going through. And that is templates of ascension, reclaiming divine templates of divine union, divine family, reconciliation, and peace. I have a lot to say about that. There will be another podcast episode, and some of those themes are woven into the February 2025 themes, but there's something cooking, and I'm really thrilled to be able to share that with you soon around this idea of divine union and divine family templates. I know that's been in your awareness too. And sometimes it's hard to articulate how and why, but it applies to everybody. It applies to everybody regardless of your situation, your environment. We are collectively connecting with those templates. Speaking of collectively, community and all that, that was another theme for 2025, the idea of community and co-creation and collaboration. So we are healing the wounds of separation so that we can come together as a unified human family. And here in Los Angeles, wow, it took a very devastating set of circumstances to really help us lean into that. But people showed up. People showed up in so many ways. I also know that politically there's stuff going on, and in the United States especially, that are activating in many ways, and we're sort of seeing how everything lands. But I am very optimistic. And I know that as light workers, we're holding space for the best possible outcome in all circumstances. And the way we show up is the way we show up. And like I said a couple of weeks ago in my reel, we stay in our lane, we know our purpose, we call that in, and we really lean into it. And at the same time, weave together with everybody, open to that co-creation. Now remember, there were 2 main ascension tools for 2025, creativity and artistic expression. All right, friends, time to report back. How are you doing with your creativity and artistic expression? What are your outlets? What have you set up for yourself in order to help you assist with that a little bit more? I know one thing that I was doing may not seem like a traditional way of creativity and artistic expression, but the way that I oversee our household and the way it runs, the way I organize like meals, which sounds again very like what? But seriously, the way that it takes effort to put together, but it's artistic. It's a creative outlet for me to come up with the menus to feed my family those nourishing meals. And if you're one of those people that's really into that, I really want to credit you for that, because it's an art. It's an art form. Another thing that came forward as an ascension tool for 2025 was light language. Big surprise coming from JJ, I know. But light language, we are about to announce something really big in my starseed community that I'm so excited about. You guys, listen. Last year, I received so many downloads that never came to fruition, and I sort of tucked them away, and they all of a sudden reemerged in the last few days. And they are actually related to my starseed community, this community that we've created. It's not really just mine, it is ours. And this is why I've been encouraging you to, if possible, join the community. Last week in the podcast episode, I mentioned there was something in me that was guiding me to transition, how do I say this, more of my presence into the community in a different way. And I think it had to do with the way we're gridding in the community versus maybe some of the limitations that I have on YouTube or Instagram or whatever it is. I can't really put my finger on it. I know that it's going to be apparent as I continue to lean into that, but all of these changes and shifts will be coming forward in my starseed community over about the next 2 weeks. It's a place where you're going to, if you feel called to be there with us, it will fill some gaps. And the only way some of these gaps can be filled is by community. That's all I'm going to say. I know that's why. I've tried to make it absolutely as financially accessible as I possibly could. But if it's really on your heart to join us and that is an obstacle for you, please just reach out to the team. You can email support@activationswithjj.com. Energy exchanges can happen in many different ways, and this is how we lean into the new earth. Either way, it's $44 a month, and that number is actually very significant. That's why I transitioned from what it used to be to what it is now. Take a look at this link below and see if that's a space and a place where you are feeling called to co-create. Like I said, there's some things opening up for us in there. Energy's opening up for us in there. And it's taken a year for us to fully grid that space to birth what's coming forward. And I'm really excited for it. And that's my little teaser announcement. All right, speaking of teaser announcements, I want to move into the main topics for today. The inspiration for this podcast was really fascinating. I was surprised. I was quite frankly surprised. And I feel like a little bit of light language is in order for us to get transitioned here. So take a deep breath. Place your hands on your heart space. Today you are going to channel. I'm going to hold space for that. I'm going to call that in. It's important for you to have something to take notes with, whether it's your phone, digital notes, written notes. That's something coming through immediately. I'm also feeling called to just invite your guides, your higher self, any soul aspects that are in your field that are potentially getting prepared to integrate. I know I have in the month of February, we're launching our winter cohort of multidimensional soul integration. I do that 2 times a year. And that one's coming forward right now. That idea of soul integration. There's a whole new wave of soul aspects that are being prepared to integrate. Sometimes unknowingly, but with your consent, right? Because your soul knows, your higher self knows. I feel all of those beings coming forward right now. I feel a lot of wisdom keepers coming forward right now. Ooh, and I'm hearing, this is why we're inviting you to reconcile yourselves with humanity, because what we will be undertaking over these next 6 to 12 years requires cooperation. Okay. It's a little side message. So let me tell you the story. Some of you might be aware or not that on the 1st of February, if you're listening to this before, it doesn't really matter when you're listening to this, but I have this offering I'm working on right now. My offerings aren't just offerings, and your offerings aren't just offerings if you're also a light worker. That's the first thing that my guides wanted me to share with you. I am sharing with you my process for creating offerings, obviously to let you know what I'm doing so that if you feel called to join, you know, and you join us. The other reason is because many of you listening are also light workers creating your own offerings. And it's important for you to kind of feel and see the template for this, because I know that I do not hold, or I am not a conduit for all the information that needs to come through on this planet right now. So many of you listening have keys, codes, information, wisdom that needs to be shared. And obviously, like offerings, courses, however you want to put it, content on your Instagram or your YouTube, that's what's needed. And it's important for you to get more and more comfortable with how to do this. When we create an offering, it's not just about the business end of it. Who's going to show up and what are our numbers and all of that. It's about creating this energetic space. And sometimes some of you are creating physical spaces. I know, because you're offering things in person. And my guides reminded me of something as I was preparing to deliver this message to you. One, any offering that you choose to create or co-create is sacred and is special and is needed. And never doubt that. If you get a download, if you wake up at 5 a.m. or 3 a.m, like I have been lately, and a name of a course or a gathering or whatever it is comes in your mind like clear as day, listen to me right now. It is a sacred space. Don't ignore those. They're coming directly in because they're needed. You are calling in that information so that you can do something with it. And I know some of you are saying, I don't even know who would show up. I know. I run a business. I know how this works. I started from the ground. I was almost negative. I was underground when I started my business. I was literally underground. Nobody knew what I was doing. I had one friend who knew what I was doing that I could share this with, that I felt comfortable sharing this with. No one in my regular life knew what I was doing, not even my husband. Not because, I was necessarily having secrets, but it was that's not the space that I was ready to, put out there. I knew that there was a part of me that was sharing, like I was sharing, and there was a community that was going to come, and it didn't matter at the beginning that 2 people showed up to something. Because at the same time, I was also a yoga teacher, and I still remember there being some yoga classes I taught when literally 2 people showed up, sometimes 1, just because it was I did teach those 6 a.m. classes. Nobody likes going to those for some reason. And I remember one specific time. This is the story that I was guided to share you. I kind of went on a roundabout way to get here. Sorry. One specific time, I was sitting in my yoga class, and I think it was during Shavasana at the very, very end. And I could all of a sudden feel the room was full of people that I couldn't see with my eyes. There were other beings taking my yoga class, non-physical, on a different plane of existence. And they like crossed over and they were like, hey, we want to join you. You never know how many unseen beings are taking your offerings. And if you set the intention that your offering is your offering no matter what, and no matter who shows up in physical or non-physical form, and that you call in the energy exchange equal to what you are putting out, you will receive it. I'm telling you right now, it will happen. Like, it might not make sense in your books. Like, you may say, it took me so many hours to create this course and 3 people showed up. I'm downloading this right now from our collective guides and higher selves. Whether you create an on-demand course and later it, brings in that energy exchange with money or whatever it is, you may get like some kind of windfall somehow in another area of your life. It will balance out if you set the intention that you are as willing to receive as you are willing to give. Do you hear that? And everything you are doing is sacred. Everything that you are offering is sacred. I hope that that's activating something for you, because those are the exact words I want to use, and I don't normally say things like that or put it in that terminology. This might be a moment for you to write down some notes. And that was kind of the preface. Now, back to what I was going to tell you. On the 1st of February, 2025, I'm launching an offering called Lightworker Expansion Lab. I actually think that this will become on demand. So unlike many of my courses, a part of this will be on demand. Now, there is a part of this course that cannot be on demand. There will actually be practice breakout rooms where you will literally practice a modality that's new on another receiving lightworker, and you will exchange your modalities. I had to build that in. This is a lab. This is practical, experiential, but there will be a piece of it that you can participate in after the fact. So, just kind of feel into that. It's all about us collectively opening ourselves to receive and remember modalities we've done in other lifetimes, in other timelines. Opening effectively Akashic records, probably galactic and just really ancient ones from our planet, that hold keys and information to modalities that will transform the human vessel into homo luminous, into beings of light, higher frequency, different octaves. Because, I want to be comfortable during this ascension journey. I don't think any of us are intentioning that our nervous system is on edge for the next 5 decades as we live out this journey of ascension. No. No. We're creating this reality. We got to create how this looks. So come on, team. Let's all call in those magical powers, modalities that we've used time and time again. All you got to do is remember. So that's the premise of this offering, Lightworker Expansion Lab. And now remember, I told you that for every offering, I actually create a portal, like a space, and guides specific to that offering. And I felt called, I don't normally do this, but I felt drawn to share with you who's coming through. And the reason why is because I feel that whether or not you participate in this course, these guides are coming forward for all of us to assist in the ways that I will tell you. So the first guide to come forward was Merlin. And that is because there is a huge wave of alchemists being activated. The remembrance of alchemy is emerging in a way that it never has before. So all of you who have done alchemy, whether you've done alchemy on the macro level or the micro level, like alchemy as in for grid work for planets and galaxies, or alchemy as in working with DNA in the quantum field, yep, that's you. Merlin's here, and Melchizedek is here, and Thoth is here because they're similar archetypes. Merlin stepped forward for this course. And the image I channeled, he's like in this little lab, like an alchemy lab, right? I channel images to go with all of the guides. And so in the course portal, there are these special images, and some of them are so activating. I'll tell you in a moment. But okay, so Merlin. And then that's kind of like a masculine energy. I try to balance it out. So then Lady Nada came forward, and as she has not come forward for a while, so you might be seeing a channeled message or two from her on my YouTube channel. And do you know what she came forward for in this, creating your own modality course? Love. Love. Everything in love. I mean, you might even feel her presence just as I'm saying her name and saying those words. Gaina soya nari tias. Oh yeah, we need a big deep breath, don't we? Yes, feeling the love. Okay, so that's Lady Nada. Then Archangel Michael came through, and I was like, well, I already have my masculine guide like in Merlin. Why do I don't need Archangel Michael. He always feels masculine to me. It's like, no, he's not here for that specifically. He's here for templates, is what I heard. And I was like, okay, templates. All right. Okay. I feel like human templates, like he's very connected to bridging humanity with our original divine template, our angelic templates, and sort of anchoring those into a physical vessel so that the physical vessel doesn't like explode. Seriously. He knows how the human body was formed, the physical human body. So then I heard Adam and Eve templates, and then Eden template. Then I was guided to channel through co-creating with AI art, the Adam and Eve template, the idea of the Adam and Eve templates. And I felt like DNA was coming into that. And then I channeled this image, and all of a sudden I looked at them and I was like, they're Pleiadian. And my guides were like, yeah, it's that original Pleiadian template. And Archangel Michael was like, yes, this is what we're talking about here. Like I just looked at the image, and it was like, I don't know. Anyway, like I said, I've got these in the course portal. Adam and Eve template. And I know saying these words, this is why I'm sharing this with you. They're keywords, and they will activate remembrance for you. Just feel it. Eden template, Eden template, Eden template. Shia torek denanai sitiash todo. Ashtatato sortida barahindra kotosina nakatara stadiato dietara ashtatato shin barkatri soto tishan ar at iaskot oiena ar ashiana o iana. Big deep breath. Okay, now the final set of guides that stepped forward were the dragons. And the specific dragons that came into my awareness, and they said, oh, we're here to help with transmuting. Like if you have a modality where things are needing to be transmuted, like just like Merlin's helping with alchemy, we're here to help with transmutation. The Venusian dragons came in, and they're sort of a rosy pink and a golden energy. And that was really fascinating because, I mean, I think everybody's working with different dragons. You guys know who your tribe is, your dragon team. And they're all over. They're like galactic, they're angelic, they're, your inner earth dragons or elemental dragons, working with the different elements of like wood, air, fire. Okay, so they're there to help with transmutation. So if you ever need a situation with transmutation, which I know rhymes, then call in those dragons. And they're to help us with our modalities. And then finally, another big key came in. And all I'm going to share with you is a name of a place where this course, I'm actually, every time we have a live Zoom session with the group that I'm doing for Lightworker Expansion Lab, our classroom is in Mount Kailash. Seriously, that's what my guides were like. There are your classrooms in Mount Kailash. I was like, okay, I guess I better. So I channeled an image to go with that so we could visualize like, oh, Mount Kailash. If you don't know what Mount Kailash is, now you've heard the name. Look it up. It's a place. It's a space. You can go there. We all have access to different areas of Mount Kailash. It's your body is a key. Your frequency is a key to unlock different things. Now, when you integrate different soul aspects, you have more keys to enter different places, to access different information, which takes us right back to the main theme of 2025. And now I know I'm at the end of the podcast because I always circle back where I started. Open, reclaim, restore. Open, reclaim, restore. This is a key set of keywords that are unlocking something in people. Open, reclaim, restore. Open, reclaim, restore. There you go. Yanakataraya shotokoya. Thank you so much for all you are doing to support this ascension process. On behalf of the Ascension Councils and Gaia, I just want to let you know that you are appreciated and loved, and to keep going. You've got this. You've got this. Join with others. We've all got this together. And remember, I'm sending you so much love and reminding you that I am you and you are me and we are we. And so it is. Until next time, my friends.